Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online 23rd Century Starfleet campaign. We're gonna head to Nimbus 3, which I believe is known as the Planet of Galactic Peace. We'll see about that. Now I believe Nimbus, the Nimbus system, was featured in one of the Star Trek movies. I could be wrong though. Now, I've actually been trying to make these training manuals for my bridge officers. I'm going to give this one to Tamet. And even though it's Gravity Well 3 instead of Gravity Well 2, it is a big difference. So let's see if I can actually change that on the fly here. Yep, I can. And now how I make those training manuals is I go into research and development. I'm currently researching bonus experience. It doesn't give me any items, but it boosts up each of these different classes. This is kind of like a different crafting system for each one. I'm currently working on science because, well, I'm in a science ship.
A passionate, vibrant species, but the loss of their homeworld has left them in ashes. The survivors of the cataclysm have gathered under the banner of Empress Sela. She has sought out new allies from the Delta Quadrant in an attempt to rebuild the Romulans' former might. And now, she seeks revenge for a lost world and a broken people.
Okay, so Spock will occasionally give us insight into the various sectors we're in. And this is because we are technically in Tal Shiar space, or the Romulan Star Empire. So it just gives us a bit of background on that. And we're almost done these medical tricorders. And I think at one of the levels that I got, I think it was level 45, I got this skill here, Fleet Support. In order for this to become active, or in order for me to be able to activate it...
On a forgotten world, a shadow of great evil lurks, waiting for the chance to strike. The truth behind the destruction of the Romulus system may be the harbinger of the greatest threat the Federation has ever faced.
Are you done, Spock? Thanks. As I was saying, the fleet support ability, I have to be at or under 50% hull in order to activate it, and it basically spawns an NPC ship to help me in combat. It's a bit less useful than the holographic ships that I can produce, basically. And it's on a really long timer as well. It's one of the, what I like to call, panic button abilities. Now, Science Fleet works a bit different than Scientific Aptitude. Science Fleet gives a small boost to all of my, well, all of the major science attributes, as well as gives me quite a bit of shield resistance. So we'll head to Nimbus 3 now. Now, just going over the Luna class a little bit, I do like the look of it. Not as much as the Galaxy class, but it's a nice little ship. And we get a full away team. And there's our contact, Horace Jones. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much voice acting. But he's just telling us he's not really on anyone's side, he's just helping out whoever. Yeah, if things don't work out, he doesn't know us, we don't know him.
If you need it, I've got it.
And we'll begin the first mission on this planet, the Lost City of Paradise. And he's just kind of telling us that the Orions are doing something nasty around their area, and there's a Borg waiting for us. Or at least he might know something. And we'll accept this.
If you need...
Now, a bit of a background on how this planet works. We're going to be here for quite a long time. There are, I think, around 8 missions on this very planet, and we won't need to go back into space for a while. And how this planet works is... it's kind of interesting. I'll actually can show it better than explaining it.
You need information?
Yep, Thaleron weapons. Where can I find them? Okay. Outside of town. And the desert. Okay, we'll start there. But yeah, basically we'll get a quest from someone in town, and then we'll be sent somewhere out into the planet. These aren't randomly generated, this is part of the storyline. And our away team waits for us outside. And now there will be a couple of objectives that are optional, that'll just kind of pop up out of nowhere. You know, like this one. So we need to try to find where these weapons are right now, as well as fend off against these scorpions. You know, I should try to lead these scorpions over the mines that Skavron is laying down. Oh, and there's some injured parties over here. We'll beam them to our sick bay. And it appears that 2 of 8 is sending a bunch of other people out here. These must be those other Starfleet officers that Franklin Drake told us about. Okay, we've got those. Now we're looking for weapon parts. Oh, and these Day 1 arthropods, they're the same thing as the scorpions, they're just called something different. Okay, we're almost done scanning these weapon fragments. Now, it's going to be kind of tough dividing up these missions, because the missions themselves are pretty short. It's running to them that takes a while. So I think what I'll do is I'll do 2 missions and then cut the video. I wonder if I can scan this before we get attacked. There we go. Yeah, most of the wildlife out here will just gather around pretty much. Now we can either run back to the City of Paradise, or Paradise Lost, as someone has written. Okay, I guess we're too close. There used to be a button that basically you teleport back. But I guess we're too close to the town for it to activate. And this planet is not an instanced area. There will be other players running around as well. Alright, let's talk to this Borg. He's actually not part of the collective. Yeah, he's trying to get us killed, but oh well. Okay, so the Orion Syndicate has the Thaleron triggers. And we're gonna have to talk to a man called Law. Now, I have a feeling that we're not going to get help for free. And Law's house is over here.
Go bother someone else.
Oh, he's a Romulan. Yeah, he used to be a peacekeeper. So, what were these peacekeepers? Let's try to get on his good side. Okay, so he was the Law, and he still is. Yeah, the Orion Syndicate didn't like that, and they're probably a bit more powerful than a couple of Romulans. So let's try to find these Thaleron triggers. Yeah, he's kind of scared of the Syndicate. Oh, and he wants us to help against them. Okay. Well, we're going to have to try to find these data fragments from either the old consoles in the ruins or in the belly of a sandworm. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of one of the longer missions, so after this I'll cut it. And we can take a little shortcut by hopping over the fence. That only works coming out, not going in. I'm still using kind of a weak phaser rifle. I'll see if I have anything better. No. That'll have to be replaced later. Now, I'm going to have to compete with some of these other players for some of the spawns here, because this isn't an instanced area, so I kind of have to share the enemies. So we're trying to kill these sandworms, because they may have eaten information that we want. And they have balls of goo that they spit at us and slow us down. You can circle strafe them too. If you get too close, they'll actually try to bite you. Now, is there a console up here? Yep, there's one right up here. So we can either activate these consoles, and they gave us a little bit of information. Now there's these transporters, like these little transporter pads here. If we activate it, we get a teleport. And there's one in the bar apparently, so I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. Although, I found they're not really all that useful. Because by the time you get there, you only need to go once. There's probably an accolade involved with activating all of them, but I'm not interested in that. I'm just trying to get my information. I'm really glad that you get all of your officers, because this would take a long time if you didn't have all of them. Now there's a boss worm that sometimes pops up here, called the Ayala Queen or something like that. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. The reason why there's 2 turrets here instead of just 1 is because I have a... Oh, did the worm just spawn? No. It's because I have a duty officer that sometimes enables me or my away team to spawn 2 turrets instead of just 1. Oh, there's another console over there. Another little bit of free information. Yeah, I upgraded everyone's phaser rifles and stuff off camera, so they're all up to Mark 9. That's the best ones that you can actually buy from a vendor. And we only need to kill a couple more worms in order to get all the information. Now here I should be able to demonstrate the teleport back feature that I was talking about. Although we have to be out of combat in order for that to activate. Ow. Yeah, the worms have a bit of a knockback ability, which can hurt. Although it's more annoying than painful. There we go, beam to Paradise City. And basically we just do a site-to-site transport. And we're back in town. Oh, here's one of those pop-up missions I was talking about. We're not going to quite get all of them. But we have to rescue some hostages. And I think we actually get an accolade for doing so. There's a couple of these random missions. And there's the last guy. And there we go, we get a bit of dilithium ore. And we get an accolade. So, what we need to do now is go back to the bar and decipher the information we got. And there's a computer in this back room. Right. Now this is a bit of a mathematical formula. However, it's so simple that even I can figure it out. Now it does tell you here what you need to do, but the puzzle is pretty much the same both times you need to do it. And there's the information. The blind man sees all. And that's it for this mission. Let's talk to our contact. And he's surprised we're alive. Yeah, so we might have to take on the Orion Syndicate to get any further.
If you need it, I've got it.
And that's all the voice acting he says. So we're on to Blind Men Tell All Tales. So he thinks he's some sort of mole. However, everyone's too scared to talk about the Orion Syndicate, because they're kind of tough.
If you need it, I've got it.
Okay, I'll start this mission in the next video. Thanks for watching.